Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fantasy enthusiasts of all ages, it is week 5. Welcome into the TFA Start Sit Show, the Q&A show. Whatever you guys want, we are here for you. Walito already coming through with that $5 holla before we were even live. Walito's ready. Robby is ready. Devi Kevy is ready.
Devi Kevy.
Boys, how we feeling? If you guys have any questions, start, sit, waivers, trades, anything like that, go ahead, start dropping them in. We will be here for you guys as long as you need us. So let's get those questions going. Walito, it is a beautiful evening. How you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm so impressed. It's very underrated saying start sit so quickly. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every time I roll into that, I screw it up every time. So props to you, Code Man, because you have yet to mess it up. And now that I've said that, you probably mess it up the next turn, but very underrated. I personally am excited about week 5. We've seen 4 weeks of some trends going on. We've seen some really good performances, I think, from a lot of guys that we were excited about preseason. We have some injuries at running back, which is a little concerning. But, hey, Justin Fields has been named the starter. Matt Nagy coming to some senses. I think that's a great way to start off this Wednesday show.
He had to have been, forced to do that, right?
Gunpoint, yeah, for sure.
There's no other way. What do you got? You got a Bud Light and a koozie there?
Well, you see, I ran out of the normal IPAs I'm rocking, and so this was all that was left. And actually, Kev's gonna enjoy this. It's actually branded for the beautiful team we have here in Lawrence. So, yeah, just repping a little bit, just doing my thing, you know.
Kev looks deep in thought. I feel a very philosophical Kev tonight.
I'm just thinking, I wonder how many targets Josh Gordon's going to get this weekend, Are
you buying in? Are you buying in yet? Because you were very tempered. Your expectations when I listened to the waiver show, you're like, I feel like you were tempering expectations. And I'm like, man, if anyone's going to get excited about this guy, it's going to be Kevin. And what we haven't seen from Mecole Hardman, what we haven't seen from Byron Pringle, what we haven't seen from Demarcus Robinson, I don't know. I think in deeper leagues, he's worth a stash, and maybe that's talking crazy, but I kind of like him.
I don't think it's talking crazy. I mean, if you have a deep enough bench and, you have a roster spot to, check him out and see what he looks like, I mean, he's tied to Pat Mahomes. And so, we'll see. We'll see what they do with him. And, I think I think he could be good, I mean, if you look at him in 2018, I mean, he had in just 11 games, almost 800 yards in that season and 11 games. So, I don't know. I mean, he's still only 30 years old, which is crazy because it feels like he should be 40. It feels like he's been in the league forever. And, but yeah, he's still only 30. Just turned 30.
I picked him up in at least 2 leagues. I got him in SFB, and I can't remember how much I dropped on him in Fab. I know I didn't put much, but then I got him in just regular waiver claims in my last Dynasty home league. So see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's have some fun, boys. I mean, fantasy football shouldn't. People try to make it all serious all the time. Hey, if you like Josh Gordon, go pick him up. Hey, if you don't work out, it's going to be no different than probably the rest of your bench that you're never going to play. And so, why not take a shot on him? Maybe he can be a low end wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Who knows?
Crazier things have happened.
We're messing around here. Now 3 questions have popped up. We got to get to these before we get behind.
Let's go. Braden Suds wants to know Brady or Rodgers this week at QB. Let's tackle that one first.
Brady for me. Normally the way you crush the Miami Dolphins has been on the ground, which is why you're probably so high on Leonard Fournette. I would assume, Cody, having him as a top 12. Yes, you heard right. He has him as a top 12 running back but for me, even with how good their corners are, Byron Jones has not practiced yet so far. It's still Wednesday, so there's still some time for him to come back. But I'm going to push Brady over Rodgers. Brady obviously has all the weapons. I think Chris Godwin has a good bounce back game after being kind of shut out last week. So I am going to go Brady over Rodgers here.
Kev, how are you feeling?
I'm going to go Marquise Brown and Aaron Rodgers.
It's really close to me for both those quarterbacks. I do lean Marquise Brown as well in the flex. I do like that call. I'm going to break the tie. I'm also going to go Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go!
I just think we could see Rodgers be forced to throw a little bit more than Brady would have to or might have to. I just think we see a little more shootout potential. There's a 10-point. The Bucs are favored by 10 at home against that Dolphins defense. That could easily just be a case where they jump up 14-0, 17-0 relatively quick and then kind of just coast from there. It's kind of my thought where in that Rodgers-Cincy game, I really like Burrow as a back end QB1 this week. I seem to have him a little bit higher than consensus. I just think that could be a little bit more back and forth, a little bit more of a shootout. Adams is going to do his thing. I think with the injuries that Green Bay has on defense, Burrow is going to be able to have finally, I think we're going to see a 35-plus pass attempt game for Joe Burrow for the first time this year. So I'm going to lean Rodgers and also Marquise Brown. How do you feel in that second part of that one, Robby?
I mean, Tyler Lockett's so boomer bust. Marquise Brown is definitely at this point safer, and it's weird to say because he's normally not a safe player in his own right? But this year he has been. I mean, he's consistently gotten the targets where Tyler Lockett and that Seahawks offense, they have not been running. I think they're second lowest in offensive plays actually ran, which is just wild because Russell Wilson's actually statistically having one of his best seasons ever. So Tyler Lockett is definitely always boom bust. If it's my flex, I'm going to continue with that boom. I will take Tyler Lockett. And just for the quick thing with Brady, he's going to throw a lot regardless. Like this offense throws 70%, I think, or they're just at a ridiculous clip. And so if his lowest attempts on the season, I think, is like 36, he's had 250-plus attempt performances in 4 weeks. Brady's going to have the more attempts, but yeah, Rodgers could finish higher, but I just think volume-wise, it's probably going to be Brady for me.
MJ, the Pug Lord, back at it. Let's go. Welcome back in, MJ. Running backs, Mixon, Gibson, Taylor, Williams, Collins. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Cooks, Woods. Would you trade Gibson and Woods for, let's say, McLaurin and Javonte?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think you really need that upgrade. I honestly think Woods is going to be better. And we normally don't trust coach speak, but I think Sean McVay, whenever he's come out and said, hey, I want to do this, normally that's what's happened. I think that's what he had said going into the year. He wanted Cam Akers to be that guy. That obviously didn't come to fruition, but we have seen whenever Henderson has been healthy, he's been the running back, hasn't really been a split. And so I actually trust him that when he says he wants to get Robert Woods more opportunities, I think he will. So the split there between McLaurin and Woods, obviously I'd prefer McLaurin, but I think the dip from Gibson to Javonte is a little bit higher. I'm gonna stick with Gibson because I just don't know if I trust that running back room as much when it's Taylor, D. Williams, Javonte, and Collins. I don't even know which D. Williams that is. I'm gonna assume it's the Bears, D. Williams.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. I don't mind going after McLaurin in that spot and getting that upgrade at wide receiver, but I would want something better than Javonte coming back.
Who we think, at least I know, pretty sure Kev does. I do. I do think Javonte will be. I know we haven't seen it, but this is what we've said for a while. It takes these running backs a little bit of time to take over the backfield against incumbents. I do think Javonte will be more or less the guy. I don't want to say he's going to get all the work, but let's say he's getting 60 to 65% of the snaps and the opportunities. I do think that will happen eventually. But still, I get it. Gibson hasn't gotten the work, but I'm still going to have Gibson above Javonte.
What level of running back would you want to get back in this trade for you to pull the trigger on it? Like, would it be as low as like a Josh Jacobs, or do you want something a little bit higher?
Nah, Josh Jacobs. I don't know about that. Man, it's such a weird thing because the guys that are right in the middle are all coming off of decent games, and so that buy low window that you normally have with the CEH with the Jonathan Taylor, they are all coming off of 100-yard games, and JT had the touchdown. So it's a really weird trading week for those guys. I don't know how people feel about Henderson. I still feel like so if I can find a way to get Henderson, I still think he's a viewed lower that will be closer to running back 1, running back 2 fringe. For me, but I don't know if that fits in this equation exactly.
Moving on to Josh T. Would you trade away Najee and Gronk for Dalvin and Ridley? Yeah, I mean, if you can do that, 100%.
Might have to throw in Woods. Do we like it as much if he throws in Woods?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a lot of tight ends. A lot of tight ends for Josh T.
Yeah, I think you can definitely do that.
Yep.
Igor coming back and joining us. Thank you for returning. Traded Chubb, Metcalf, and Kittle for Swift, CPAT, and Higgins. Was this good?
It was not.
Nope.
Yeah, it was too much. You're buying high on Cordarrelle Patterson. I like getting Higgins in there. I think he's a nice buy low, if you could call it that. Kind of out of sight, out of mind for the past couple of weeks, but
I mean,
I
love getting Swift. I think you could make an argument in a PPR format. You may have made an upgrade with Swift over Chubb, right? And because I mean, Chubb is continually displaying touches with Kareem Hunt, and while DeAndre Swift obviously is doing the same thing with Jamal Williams, but he's getting such a large target share in that offense that it really is carrying him. So I think you could view that as maybe possibly an upgrade at this point in PPR, but the rest of it is what kills it because the Cordarrelle Patterson thing is so wild to me. Like in a few more weeks, we're gonna be looking back at this and we're just gonna laugh. And people that traded for him are going to feel so ridiculous that they traded for him and the players that they gave up to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, players don't break out at 30, okay? Like, he's been in the league for years, okay? Like, it's just one of those anomalies, the things that just happen. You know, it's fantasy football, crazy shit happens, and all of a sudden people are, like, losing their minds over it. So don't be on the wrong end of trading for Cordarrelle Patterson because it's not going to work out.
Yes. Just finishing up on that, the numbers we threw out in the running back ranking show, he is at an unsustainable rate. His catch percentage, I actually don't. That's the one I don't have in front of me, but it's obnoxious. Someone look it up quick. It's like 85 or 90%. He's caught almost every target that's thrown his way. That won't continue. He played only 23 snaps. His snap share is still so low. He has a 22% TD rate, which means he's caught touchdowns on 22% of his catches. That won't continue. He won't have these 3 touchdown games. Whenever you see somebody have 3 touchdowns in 1 week, your first question should be, should I sell high? If the answer is, it's Aaron Jones, no, because he does that. Is it, Devontae Adams? No, because he normally does that. If it's anybody else, you honestly should think about doing it. And especially, like Kev said, for a running back wide receiver, age 30, this is not going to continue. This will go more towards Calvin Ridley, more towards Kyle Pitts. There will be a balancing. We got to remember also who's the wide receiver that's coming back. This is not great. But anyways, Russell Gage. Who I get it, not fantastic, but he's going to come back. So I just don't think that Cordarrelle Patterson is going to continue anywhere remotely near. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 6 rushes for 20 yards and 5 targets with 3 catches for another 20. You know what I mean? Like, he is going to drop off, I think, immensely. And I think people are still viewing him as a guy that you can hang on to and play as a running back 2 each week.
Yeah, it's just wild. I mean, he has a 39% opportunity share. 39%. You know, it's like So go trade for Naheem Hines, or J.D. McKissick, because those are the types of players that he's in line with in terms of opportunity. He just ran hot for a couple of weeks. So, yes, you should absolutely be looking to trade him. I don't care what you could get for him, to be honest with you. Like, get whatever you can get for him, whatever. It doesn't even have to be that high because his value is never going to be higher. He's not going to sustain this. He's not going to be an RB1 or wide receiver 1. He's not going to be an RB2 or wide receiver 2. He's not going to be a wide receiver 3 or RB3. He's not going to be a wide receiver 4 by the end of the year. Like, trade him as quick as you can.
You guys can tell there are some strong feelings on Cordarrelle Patterson here at TFA. Abraham, like this roster. Good looks there. Traded Diggs and Corey Davis for Devontae Adams. Thoughts?
Can we go to? Oh, I'm so sorry for ruining our.
I got a long ways to go. I'm 12 years away from that. So,
Just climbing to the top. That's something I would expect from Christian, not from Tom.
And I don't know what Tom's what, like 45?
Yeah, I think Tom's the oldest of all of us, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Over here.
No way.
Goes to bed every night at 8:00, drinks a nice little warm glass of milk, helps him sleep better.
Get him, Kev.
All right, so how do we feel about this thought? Diggs and Davis for Adams.
You probably overpaid a little bit, but I mean, because to me, like Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, there's not like huge difference between the two of them, right? And so throwing in Corey Davis was kind of like, I think you overpaid for that, because like I said, like I think Diggs to Adams, I just don't think there's that big of a gap.
If AJ Brown plays, would you put him in over Myers at flex? This one also for Abraham.
Yes.
Yep, just keep paying attention to the practice reports.
I'm the only one too in our wide receiver rankings that has them ranked. I have him at 8. So
one of them practiced. I think it was AJ Brown, right? Julio did not practice. AJ Brown limited, right?
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, update: Christian McCaffrey practiced today. Felt great and looked
in my rankings.
Yes. So I was the only one. I dropped my nuts on the table.
All right, we're okay.
Just want to say
doesn't matter till Sunday, Kevy.
Not only that, but there is no such thing as dropping your nuts on the table for ranking Christian McCaffrey. Aquavision wants to know Patrick or Knox.
I had the foresight. I was the one with the foresight in here to rank Christian McCaffrey.
You have foreskin, is what you have
for the brand.
Patrick or Knox, full PPR for Aquavision. I am Aquaman.
It's gonna be a goofy eye show tonight.
Tim,
man.
Kev.
Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I don't think it's a tight end question. I think it's a flex question.
Just a flex here. So Dawson Knox obviously playing really well, becoming a bigger part, and I wonder if it's. I think he and Cole Beasley are going to switch off because Cole Beasley has been off a little bit the last couple of weeks, and so if you see a Cole Beasley week, it's probably coming at the expense of a Dawson Knox. But Chiefs are the worst against tight end, giving up the most yardage. So you have to like that. But I think I'm still going to stick with Patrick here. I think you're probably fine either way, but Knox is just a lot riskier. You're always playing with these streamable tight ends. You're kind of playing with fire. I would go Tim Patrick here.
I think we see more back and forth. I mean, this game is all the way up to like a 56.5 over under for that Chiefs Bills game. I'm pumping the brakes slightly on Dawson Knox just because he has 5 touchdowns or something on 15 catches, something crazy, 20 catches. But I think in this instance, and then the over under for that Steelers Broncos game is like 39.5, I think. I don't even think it's hit 40. So give me Knox here in what should be a little bit more of a shootout. Kev, break the tie.
One, I don't know what your deal is against Dawson Knox. Okay, on the waiver show, you didn't even want to talk about him. Didn't want to mention him. as an ad this week, and now you don't even. It's Dawson Knox, and it's not.
I just said Dawson Knox.
Okay. Well, I don't like the hesitancy with it. Okay?
There was no hesitancy. Chill
Conviction.
out.
He just wants a fight tonight.
I'm in a little spicy mood. Tom, get your ass on here too. I'll take your ass to church too.
You go and kiss the baby.
Who wants this smoke? Who wants some of Debo?
Fabian coming through with the $5 hauler. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of you. If you do not have the means to throw some quiche our way, just hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe. We appreciate everything that we can get. We'll take it all. We're hussies around these parts. Should I start Damian Harris over Corey Davis? Let's hit this one first. Obviously, Harris getting the juicy matchup.
Corey Davis getting the juicy matchup. That's where I get torn because, Kev, I think you mentioned you were, I don't know if you used the word auto start, but Damian Harris, fantastic matchup. The workload hasn't been there the last 2 weeks. I'm going to throw out last week because you play the Bucs. You're not trying to run. So that's not as concerning. But even the week before, he didn't have a ton of opportunities. I think you guys are starting to talk me into Corey Davis. He's had at least 7 targets in 3 of 4 games, 111 yards, 97 yards week 1 and 4. Fantastic matchup in his own right. I think you have a really good opportunity with both of them. And normally I would give that tie to the running back, except this running back doesn't catch passes. Brandon Bolden has kind of taken that slot for James White. I'm going to go Corey Davis, but I'm really okay if you start either one.
Kev, how you feel?
A lot of thought. A lot of back and forth.
This was tough because this was like really close. I think I want to start both of them, but can't do that. So I'm going to go Damian Harris here. And then I think you should go Hunter Henry. Well, no. Go. Pick up Dan Arnold, Fabian. Pick up Dan Arnold and play him this week.
Here we go.
Stop.
Here we go. No, I'm also gonna go Damian Harris just because I think we can rely on that workload a little bit more. And I'm also gonna go Hunter Henry there as well. I think I'm not entirely sure how often the Vikes are gonna have to throw in that matchup with
Detroit.
My God,
the 1-3 Vikings.
But you're getting some negative correlation there with playing. I feel like with playing Hunter Henry and Damian Harris, right? Like like that feels really gross. Playing.
I don't know what negative correlation means, so you got to calm down with those terms, okay, bud?
He's in that DFS mindset when he's talking negative correlation.
Chill with those terms.
Kev is already getting ready for the Thursday show. I get it. I just think we've seen Hunter Henry be a little more consistent than Conklin.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Conklin has 1 game.
Yeah,
Conklin,
but I mean,
Conklin is literally your if he happens to hit that week, you won out. We have Hunter who's dominating this, has a really, really good match against Houston.
What is this right now? What is this?
Robby is on Skype from 2004.
He's using AOL dial-up. Okay, right now I think his CD might be running out of hours.
Yeah,
is it bad? Are we not good?
Robby, I think you need more minutes there, bud. Go turn the antenna on the outside of your house and see if you can get some.
Ma, is it good now, Ma?
Fabian, appreciate you coming through with that. I'm gonna jump back to where we were.
I was gonna say really quickly is that I wouldn't feel comfortable starting with them because like I was saying, like I get it, but like this is still a week-to-week game, and starting both of them because if Damian Harris is gonna go off right or have a good game, then it's probably gonna be. I don't see how there's gonna be a lot of targets go around for these other guys, right? And so I feel like this is a chance where you see Damian Harris get 20-plus touches in this game. And I would feel like that would probably limit the upside or ceiling that you're going to get from Hunter Henry. And so if I'm going to play one, I don't want to play the other with it. I feel like it's just you have a very limited ceiling in there in that situation. So I'd either rather play Corey Davis and Hunter Henry, or I'd rather play Damian Harris and Tyler Conklin.
And we see if you can pick up like a Dalton Schultz off of waivers. I mean, your waivers have probably already been processed, and I'm sure he was already picked up. But a Dawson Knox or a Dalton Schultz. Let us know if you have any other waiver options there, Fabian. We can see if we can help you out with that tight end conundrum. But going back up to the top of the chat where we were, Joey needs 2 wide receivers this week between Woods, Boyd, Jones, Sutton, and Chenault. Nice little group there. Who do we like?
I like Marvin Jones going against. I don't know. Is it man? Are we good? Guys are looking at me like it's not good.
You're all right.
Okay, all right. I like Marvin Jones going against the Titans, who have given up the most yardage to wide receivers and the most touchdowns to wide receivers. So Marvin Jones, after a down week, I think bounces back, and then Robert Woods would be my other pick here.
Locking in Bobby Woods.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Woods gets a fantastic matchup this week. He's either going to see Trey Flowers, who was benched, or he's going to see Sidney Jones, who has been just as bad, allowing a 159 passer rating, has allowed 139. 100.
Is that bad?
He's allowed 193 receiving yards on 9 receptions and a touchdown so far this year. He has been awful. So, yeah, I'm rocking with Robert Woods tomorrow, and I think you go with Marvin Jones.
Is that a sweep, Cody? Is that a sweep?
Sutton is last for me on that list, and those other 3 are pretty closely jumbled. I'm fine with any of them. Since you guys are so sure on Marvin Jones, I will roll. Like I don't have strong feelings. I really like Chenault this week on the other side of him as well. And I've already talked about this Cincy Green Bay game too. So I'll go Marvin Jones there. Our guy Brian coming through. Would you trade Harris and Godwin for Henderson or Debo? No, do not do that. I wouldn't trade Harris for Henderson straight up or Godwin for Debo straight up. And I surely wouldn't combine Harris and Godwin to get one of those.
Right. I think you got to view, Brian, I think you got to view Harris as a top, what do you guys think? A top 12 running back, where Henderson is close, but he's not quite there. And then Godwin is a top 14, 15 wide receiver. And I get Debo has played that well up to date, but these 2 are top assets. You can't trade, both of them for 1, let alone both of them for 2. So yeah, you have to start viewing your team as better than what you're viewing them as.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't trade any of them individually either. Yeah. Like I wouldn't trade Harris for Henderson. I wouldn't trade Harris for Debo, and the same goes for Godwin.
Yeah, too much there, Brian. Perry has a wild one here. Should I trade Mahomes for CPAT because I have really bad running backs, and then start Darnold, who's on my bench, to sack him with DJ Moore?
He's trolling us, right? Perry is doing the best troll job right now after the diatribe we had on why you are trading away CPAT and not trading for CPAT.
He's not, because I saw that the question came in before we saw it. I saw it when it happened. So, no, we are not trading Pat Mahomes for Cordarrelle Patterson. You could get a lot more for Patrick Mahomes, okay, than Cordarrelle Patterson. I can promise you that.
Go for Barkley. Go for CMC. If you're going to trade him,
if you're getting CMC,
well,
maybe because he's hurt, but yeah, I think Aaron Jones. You could do that. DeAndre Swift. You could try to get him. I think you might have to package in one little, something else of a smaller, but go see who doesn't have a quarterback, and go to that guy. But we're not trading for Cordarrelle Patterson.
No, do not do it. Those are 2 staunch no's in a row on the trade questions there. Greg needs 3 of these in a PPR: Pittman, Waddle, Crowder, Devonta, Woods, and Damian Williams.
Bobby Trees.
1.
And I think Pittman and Devonta. I think Robby's frozen.
Am I? I don't even know anymore. You guys just let me know if I'm frozen. You guys just let me know. I'm going Devonta Smith, Woods, and Damian Williams. Those will be my 3.
Yeah, I'm
He's trying to figure it out. It's a Linda. You know, have you seen the GIF? You know, where he moves the my computer to the recycling bin. You know, and deletes. You know, have you seen that? You know what I'm talking about? That was Tom right there.
What was I doing?
Tom, are you the oldest out of us 4?
He is.
I was just looking at the thing. Listen, I'm 30. I'm 39, going on 65. So probably, yeah. I think Combat Tours add about like 12 years per. So yeah, I probably am. Kev, how old are you? 60?
Excuse me. No, this is distinguishing. The ladies say that it makes me look very distinguished. Okay, see that? It's salt and pepper.
How old are you?
touch of gray.
35.
Golden Corral. What's up?
35.
You're
Golden Corral? What?
It's an all-you-can-eat buffet that the old-timers like.
Yeah. Golden Corral.
Okay, you landed that. I was trying to navigate those waters.
You don't know what Golden Corral is?
No, I just didn't know why he said it. I wasn't following why it was brought into the conversation.
I was just saying that was like a staple of our probably most people's childhood, right? Like
Yeah.
when your parents take you there as a kid and you feel like you're at Disney World because you can go get whatever you want.
Robby, do you know what the Sizzler is?
No,
He's frozen.
I'm not frozen. I don't think.
He was thinking.
I know. I shook my head. No.
Frozen in thought. All right, Tom. Good time for you to join. We have a question from Ramon here, and one of the guys is one of your Philly boys, Gainwell, Gordon, or Collins as a replacement for Chris Carson.
It's Alex
Man,
Collins.
All right, somebody else go first. My brain hurts because I can't say Kenneth Gainwell here. It hurts too much. All right, Kev, you said Collins. Go.
Yeah, no, I would go Alex Collins. Yes, that's who I would go with.
Why?
Opportunity. Who else is going to get opportunities in this backfield? They have nobody else. They have a couple third down running backs and Travis Homer, right? He's going to get all the early down work. He's probably going to be involved in the passing game as well. And so it's Chris Carson. It's Alex Collins. These other two, Gainwell's only playing 30% of the snaps, right? He could be involved in the passing game. We'll see on that. Melvin Gordon is playing time with Javonte. Terrible matchup, by the way, right? And the same ilk going against Denver or going against Pittsburgh. So we go with Alex Collins.
My best advice is to pick up a wide receiver because I don't want to make this decision.
What if this is their RB2? This very well could be their RB2.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is the RB2
man.
spot for sure, right?
That's the RB2 spot.
It's Alex Collins.
So who has the biggest upside out of all of them?
Alex Collins.
All right, so it just feels so dirty. I wanted you to talk me out of it, and you didn't. Yeah, Collins.
I think you have to just based on, like Kev said, opportunity. I don't like the matchup at all, but it's hard to throw Gainwell in that spot. Gordon isn't an option, so it's between Collins and Gainwell. So I will also roll Collins just by virtue of the amount of opportunity that he should see. Watch us end up being watch Christine Michael come back and end up.
Oh, see, Mike, the good old days.
See, Mike. Robby, this one is for you. Higbee or Schultz for Greg?
Yeah, I'd love to say Schultz. I really, really would. He has gotten, what is it, six receptions.
He's had at least 6 for 45 in 3 of his 4 games.
In 3 of the 4 games. But honestly, I don't know if that continues because I think, Kev, what you were worried about when we did the wide receiver rankings show is that the wide receivers in Dallas have not been performing. And I think part of that is to do with how much these tight ends have gotten. They've gotten a 37 percent target share, and that's normally at like a 21% target share. So I think that's been overrepresented through 4 weeks, and I do think that evens out a little bit. So I don't know if we see this continue, and there is still Blake Jarwin there getting a couple targets here or there. So I'm going to stick with Higbee, but I get it. It's hard to sit Schultz after what he's done 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm going to go Higbee. But they're right there together.
Kev, do you have any strong feelings on that one?
He's pooping.
He's frozen.
No. No.
Let it go, Kev. Come on.
I think I would go Schultz here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to go Schultz here. Are we all frozen? What's happening?
No.
I will go Schultz because I have them almost even this week. And the matchup there with the Giants have allowed the third most points against all tight ends in PPR. So that's where I'm going to go. So when I'm even, I'm gonna base it off a matchup.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ramon definitely has some better wide receiver options here. Kev, who do you like out of these three? Debo, Chase, Evans. Are you going Debo over both of those? Man, why can't you play? Who else are you starting here, Ramon?
What do you have? Are you in my Dynasty Home League and I didn't know about it?
Is this my team?
Yeah. Yeah, who else do you have, Ramon? Because I want to play Jamar Chase really bad.
Yes.
But how do you sit him over Debo at this point? At Debo, he's got to be an instant start.
I don't know in this matchup.
I don't know. The concern would be that they're playing one of the best. I think the Cardinals were top 3 in pass DVOA on the year, and so. And to be quite honest, I mean Trey Lance did not look good throwing the football. Had he not completed that, and that was a duck that he threw to Deebo Samuel on that was 76-yard touchdown that he was just wide open for. I don't know. We may be having a different conversation about it, but regardless of that, like it's still not a great matchup against Arizona. So, like there's some concern there with that, but they're going to have to throw the ball, and so. I want to play both of them, though. I want to play. Can I start both? Can we start both remote? Can we start Debo and Jamar Chase? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know really as well. Good. But I am going to go Chase over Debo here. Alex Flores has a bit of a dilemma. Have Carson and Mixon, Alex Collins, and P. Ryan. Need one for the RB2 spot. I would wait here. I'd rather play P. Ryan over Alex Collins if Mixon does indeed end up being out. That's what I would do.
Same. I agree. I'm in the same dilemma because I have Mixon and I just picked P. Ryan up, and I could play Michael Carter over P. Ryan, but that's a 9:30 game in London, so you're not going to have that opportunity necessarily unless Mixon's ruled out on Friday or Saturday. So pick up P. Ryan if you have Mixon and wait.
Yep. Kev, Anthony wants to know if he should change anything out here. On the bench is Hollywood, Mixon, Madison if Dalvin is out. Also picked up Damian Williams. Starting lineup is Rodgers, Ridley, A.J. Brown, Barkley, Damian Harris, Kelsey, and CPAT. Are you going to flex Hollywood over CPAT?
Yes.
Well, would you put... Are you playing CPAT over Harris? Because I am. And then I would put Hollywood over Harris.
I would not. I would play Damian Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting the Texans.
We both agree to play Hollywood, though.
Yes. I'm good with that.
And then figure out your running back.
What if Dalvin is out? Would you throw in Madison over Harris?
Yes.
Yeah, they're playing the Lions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Take the under there, right?
I play whatever running back is playing the Lions on that given week.
Madison or Hollywood?
Madison.
Okay. So there it is. So if Cook is out, you're putting Madison in the flex. If Dalvin plays, you are putting Hollywood in over CPAT. Anthony also traded away Lockett, Miles, and Buffalo's D for Ridley, Monty before the injury. What do we think?
Miles Sanders is like tits on a bull right now, so go for it.
Yeah, I great pull there, Tom. Great pull. Derek Dortch. Let's well, I was gonna say let's ask Robby this question before he freezes, but somehow that happened in a split second that he joined the show.
Can we change?
Robby,
can we change his name to Elsa?
I think it'll help you if you just turn off your video.
Elsa Jeffries.
Tom is on fire. All right, Robby looks like he might be okay. Higby,
no, he's not. Robby,
that or
turn off your video.
Pot just got legalized in Kansas.
This is not nearly as fun with no video. People want to see.
It's even better.
People want to see. This is terrible.
Higby, I feel I don't know who I'm talking to.
It feels like I'm grounded.
Higby or Ertz, Robby?
This is gonna be Tyler Higbee again. Ertz is even farther down than Schultz.
Robby, did you just not have good internet?
The internet messed up yesterday, and it has not been good. I mean, we were doing the ranking show yesterday, and I left you guys in the middle of the quarterback show, right as Kev was trying to talk Sam Darnold being a top 4 quarterback or something like that. So, yeah, I was getting a little hype, getting ready to go, and then the internet has not been good since.
I have him as a QB1. I had him at 12. Aaron Rodgers is at 4. And I just dropped nothing but straight facts on that one. I mean, that was just straight fire.
You're chasing his rushing touchdowns, which account for 31% of his fantasy points.
This wasn't part of the questions here. We're not getting into this. Robby is feeling tough.
Yeah.
Robby's
Mr.
feeling
evil
tough
villain,
because
evil villain behind the record over there. Oh, now you're gonna show your face?
Yeah, Robby's behind the screen, so now he's feeling. Look at that freeze. Look at that face. My goodness. All right, Tom, CHB wants to know which running back should I pick up off of waivers? Bolden, Gio, Dillon, or McNichols?
I'm still going to go A.J. Dillon just because he's going to get some workload. The other 3 you don't know. Gio's – you don't know. You can't – the Tampa Bay backfield is essentially turned into the New England backfield. You don't know who's going to get what. So if it's best ball, then Gio probably, but – I'm going to go A.J. Dillon here.
I'm going to go Bolden. Kev, who do you like out of this waiver group? Brandon Bolden, Gio Bernard, Dillon, or Jeremy McNichols?
So I think it really comes down to, I mean, it's definitely A.J. Dillon. One, long-term, definitely A.J. Dillon. I mean, I would want him no matter what. I'm surprised he's even available. But, I mean, I think we saw a little bit more last week where he finally got a little bit involved where previous weeks he hadn't. I mean, last week against Pittsburgh, I mean, he had 15 carries, last week. And so he kind of has that if they can get out to a lead, he's going to see more opportunities out of his backfield. So, it's A.J. Dillon, and it's not close.
All right, we are falling a little bit behind on some of these questions, guys. So if we are a little short-winded on these, apologies, but we do want to answer all of these, and we are about a half hour behind in true TFA fashion. So, Kev, going to throw this one at you from N Savvy. We need 2 running backs, so let's start there between Gibson, Harris, Edmonds, Collins.
So Harris and Gibson for me.
Okay, 2 flexes. So do you like Edmonds, AB, Sanders, or Alex Collins?
Yeah, and Chase Edmonds. And I'm going to go Emmanuel Sanders.
Over AB?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I want
that. Is that matchup based?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that Chiefs game could be 51-48, by the end.
I think that over-under is at 56.5. Like, it might be bet up to 58 by game time.
Yeah.
So, I want to say AB, but he's really volatile, and Emmanuel Sanders is going to get – he's going to get some in that game. So,
And I don't mind Alex Collins either. Like we already talked about him, and I mean, I'm not afraid of this Rams run defense by any means. They are very average, against the run. So I'm not worried about that. It's just I just feel like Emmanuel Sanders' ceiling is probably the highest of all these guys.
Yeah. This is going to be Patriots D here for me, Perry. You're definitely on the right mindset. Rico needs help. Someone just dropped Javonte Williams to waivers. Should I drop Trey Sermon and pick up Javonte?
Yes, run.
Do you have anybody else? Is that the worst player you have that you can drop? That would be my question. If you don't have anybody else, and you have
even if it is,
yeah, I would rather have that. But I would just be curious.
Yeah, our guy Ray joining us. Also a Steeler fan coming through. Need 2 with Metcalf, Keenan, Corey Davis, T. Higgins in standard scoring. So let's keep that in mind.
So Keenan Allen.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where I was leaning as well.
Higgins off the injury is tough. And I think Ramsey is going to wind up shadowing Metcalf for most of the game, but he could still pop one off. That's why I'd have him. That's a tough one. Brings me to my prop of the week for Thursday, though. That's tough. Definitely Keenan Allen. I think Metcalf and Corey Davis is a coin flip, which is crazy, right? Talk me out of it. Talk me out of saying Corey Davis.
Well, I was leaning toward T. Higgins, to tell you the truth.
Listen, guys off injuries scare the living shit out of me, especially when you have options like he has. So if you only need 2 out of those guys, then I'm going to go with a safer option. So I would almost say,
is Corey Davis actually safe though?
Say against the Falcons, is he? I see your point. So who do you like in that Seahawks game better, Metcalf or Lockett? Because Metcalf should be shadowed by Ramsey.
It does feel like in these like prime time, like especially like Thursday games, that they end up being Lockett games. Like I feel like there probably has to be like a 70% correlation between like every 150 multiple touchdown game that Tyler Lockett has ever had has been like on a Thursday.
Did Tyler Lockett just go ham and it was the exclusive 425 game? Yes, he did. Right? No, I agree. So prop bets for tomorrow, if you're watching and you like prop bets, Tyler Lockett, longest reception, over 23.5 yards.
I also like Darrell Henderson over his rushing yards as well in that game. I think it's at like 64.5, I want to say. Yeah. I think it's somewhere around there. All right, Kev. Yeah. I'm going Keenan and T. You're going Keenan and did you give your answer here?
I'm gonna go DK Metcalf. I don't think Ramsey's gonna shadow him. Ramsey hasn't shadowed since like week 4 of last year or something like that. He does not
shadowed him. He basically shadowed in January last year when they played in the playoffs, I believe. So I think the last time
I don't think he shadows him.
No?
No.
All right, so here's your prop bet then. If you don't think he's going to shadow, take DK because he's 24.5 yards longest reception and Lockett over 23.5. And maybe, they'll both get it.
Jose in a standard league, Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, Elliott, Ridley, Chase. Flex is a question mark. Looks like Jose's leaning toward Hunt, but would you go Moss, Hunt, or Godwin?
Hunt.
I'm gonna go Chris Godwin. It is close. I do like
Godwin as well.
I would go Godwin.
I'm going Godwin as well. I wouldn't change your wide receivers. I would just put Godwin in the flex there. Brian, appreciate the support. We do not have a system where people can pay to get more help, but there is a free Discord. You can always, throw whatever sort of donation that you would like in the super chat here and the super, I think they're called super stickers, I believe, on for YouTube as well. So that might be something we look into maybe next season. But we are a fantasy site for the people, so we're gonna try and give you guys as much free content as humanly possible for as long as possible. So if you just hit subscribe, give us a like, you can jump into the Discord for free. Speaking of
DM us on Twitter.
Yeah, hit us up. Ashton needs 2 here. Coming through with this: Manny Sanders, Higgins, AB, Tim Patrick, or Renfro. I'm going first 2.
Yes.
Boom.
Sweep.
Okay. Jose also has A-Rob in there. So are you playing A-Rob over Godwin? I am not. I'd still put Godwin in there.
Right now, yeah.
Walito, I'm only showing this because there is $5 Canadian attached to it. Listen, the listener league did not go as planned, but I will say I have faced the most points in a league by over 30, who's the next closest. And then last week, I lost by less than a point to get my first dub. So this year altogether has not been going my way. It has been a very, very poor start to the year for old Croup Doggy Dog.
Well, and I really just don't give a shit, to be honest with you, about the league.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
If it's not for money, I don't care about it. And I said it before in privacy. That's why I shouldn't play, because if it's not for money, I don't really care. And I think the last 2 weeks I've started T. Higgins, who's been out, because I don't ever check my lineup. Because you know what? I got more important stuff. I'm trying to run an enterprise here, okay? And with DFS and everything else I got going on, I don't got time for some free league. So I call it charity. I'm just giving it. I'm trying to make Walito feel better about himself, because he apparently has nothing else to do besides try to worry about a free league, and that's okay. Hey, good for him. But a little charity for Walito.
Moving on to Nathan's question here, Tom. I'm going to throw this one to you: Knox, Waddle, Rondell, or Javonte in the flex?
Oh, Waddle broke my heart last week. It really hurts, to tell you the truth. Still, 3 targets, 33 yards in the first quarter.
And then nothing.
Yeah, he had one more target after that, and then it was like, boop, dead. Javante's tough this week.
I'm not starting Javonte over any of these guys.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Javante's tough this week. Rondale's really, you can't trust his usage yet. So it's Waddle or Knox.
I think you go Waddle.
I'm gonna go Waddle. Yeah, I'm gonna go Waddle here. I'm still waiting for the explosive play for them to just let him go, unleash him, and his floor is what we saw last week, and that's his absolute floor. So I'm gonna go Waddle there.
Kev Uzi wants to know Jonnu or Conklin in PPR.
I'm gonna go Conklin.
Can we pick up Dawson Knox or Dalton Schultz? Is what I would know. I would want to know there. And this is why Ramon couldn't start all those guys, because he also has Jefferson and Ridley.
Rich people problems.
Jose wants to know: would you drop Ayuk for Julio Jones?
No. What's Julio doing?
What's Ayuk doing?
Exactly.
And how is Julio Jones available?
Yeah, it's all a little crazy. This question's a little crazy, man.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
I made a trade today, and I love
dart in your neck.
Cody, did you see the trade I made in a Dynasty League or no?
I heard, yeah.
Yeah. Cody, it was Devonta Smith and Mark Andrews for Darren Waller and Brandon Ayuk. Dynasty League. Kev, I know you're the Dynasty King. What do you think?
Crickets.
I'm not frozen.
Let's Let's pick
So
three.
this is just the way he has it: Jefferson, Ridley, and unfortunately Debo. Even though it should be Chase, but
Kev, I know you love Jacoby Myers, but are you starting Myers over Chase?
absolutely not.
Can't.
Uzi traded Lockett, Monty before the injury for Chubb, Mooney, and Gordon.
I like that.
Well done. Elias wants to know, how do we feel about Dalvin this week in PPR? We saw him. We were all in agreement that if he was out there, you're playing him, he's going to get the full workload, and then he hobbles off. He doesn't get the full workload. If he starts, you're plugging him in. But how confident do you feel about it?
I mean,
I feel great. If he's playing, I feel
him.
great about it. He's playing the Lions.
Yeah.
So, if he's out there, we're rolling with it, right?
You don't have to put a confidence level next to when you put him in your lineup. So just feel good about that.
I would say but I don't feel great if he's going to play this week, though. I will say that because he did not practice today. But Wednesdays aren't nearly as big of a deal to me as like we always talk about Thursday and Friday are the more indicative ones in terms of practicing. And he doesn't have to practice at all really to play. I mean, to be honest with you, he's still dealing with a little bit of an ankle issue, but he says he's going to play through it, and he's planning on playing. So we'll see it.
This is what we call dedication here from Emmanuel. 3 a.m. in the motherland. Still rocking with us. He was there with us with Prop Talk last week. Here with us on the Wednesday show. He was here with us on the Sunday show as well. We appreciate all you guys. That is dedication. Raylan wants to know Mark Andrews or Noah Fant this week.
Mark Andrews.
Andrews for me as well.
Same.
A question for the future. Would you trade Evans and Mixon for Devontae Adams and Clyde?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm waiting on the random question of the week. I've started to look forward to the random question of the week. So
I thoroughly enjoy the random question of the week. We need 3 here from Mark. So Raven, let's get that random question in. We need 3 here from Mark. A-Rob, A-B, Deontay, Devonta.
Well, definitely Deontay.
Yes. And I'm going to go Devonta, and I'm going to go A-Rob.
Yeah.
Wasn't it fantastic today, too, to hear that they named Justin Fields the starter? And I would 100% believe that had nothing to do with Matt Nagy. And I guarantee you Ryan Pace was like, come to my office, sir. Listen, you're going to start Justin Fields. If you don't, you can pack your shit and get the fuck out right now.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Like, there's no way he's talking about Andy's a starter, Andy's a starter. And then all of a sudden we wake up and he's like, well, actually, Fields is a starter until further. Like, he absolutely signed his life away in order to do that and keep his job. Mark needs 2 out of this group for running backs: Davis, P. Ryan, Eli, or Collins.
Well, if Mixon's out, it's P. Ryan.
Hide the money, y'all. There's broke people around.
I'm gonna go Samaje and Elijah.
I'm gonna go. Oh God, I'm gonna go Alex Collins and Samaje P. Ryan.
So am I.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All the research you do in the offseason, all the videos we made, there was never a time that I thought we were going to be Samaje P. Ryan and Alex Collins. You gotta love it. You gotta love the NFL and fantasy football. This is why it's great.
DC wants to know, should I trade away Mike Williams, Jacoby Myers, and Jared Cook for Kelsey and Javonte Williams? Whew.
I think I would.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, because I think Williams picks up a lot at the end of the season.
Emmanuel needs 1 quarterback and 1 running back. So Tanny or Carr?
I'm going to go Tannehill.
Me as well.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have an option because I think on this one, I think CMC returns this week. So I think it's Latavius Murray, which I would hate myself. I don't want to play any of these damn Ravens running backs, but it's so gross with what they're doing there. But I think CMC returns. There's no way they have him come back today and full pads and everything if he wasn't going to play. So
I would also drop one of those quarterbacks, like you're saying, Emmanuel, as well. One quarterback league, Tanny Carr.
You definitely
always,
should.
Yeah, you can find a
Is Sam
waiver
Darnold
replacement.
Available? So
Yeah.
we got. Listen, I have a question for the chat. Okay, I want to know. One, is Sam Darnold available in your league? And two, if he's not, why do people not want to pick up Sam Darnold? I just want more of a consensus view of why Sam Darnold is still so widely available when he's a top 5 quarterback through 4 weeks of the season. I just want to know what other people's thoughts are on it. So if the chat can just let me know if he's available in your leagues, and if he is, what are your thoughts on Sam Darnold, I guess, for the chat?
Nifty Maine. Would you trade Lockett and Connor for Ridley in a half PPR?
Yep.
Is it time to bench A-Rob? Alejandro, it would depend on who your other options are. So let us know what you're looking at. Wide receiver. He's definitely in the conversation to be benched, but it depends on who you're benching him for. So let us know. Let us know who your options are. And this is in response to the other running backs for Rico dropping Sermon to pick up Javonte. So the other running backs are Harris, Carson, Sermon, Gainwell, Elijah Mitchell.
I think you hold on to Sermon and maybe have more consideration to drop Elijah Mitchell. I don't know if Elijah Mitchell is going to come back and retake this job. I mean, I thought Trey Sermon actually looked really good, last week. So I don't know.
I would think about dropping Gainwell. Yeah, but I see what you're saying with the 2 Niners backs. I'd probably drop Gainwell, I think, for Javonte.
I'd go Mitchell.
Ooh.
I don't like it.
DJ Vic wants to know in the flex, CPAT or Jacoby?
Jacoby. He's getting a touchdown this week. He's getting the monkey off his back. The man should have had a touchdown a long time ago. Touchdown's incoming this week. First touchdown is coming. I can feel it like I'm Phil Collins in the air tonight. Oh, that's the best ever. You just get hyped when that goes down.
Can feel it in my plums. Had a nice blue shoe on it. Dancing real nice. Michael Brown has a series here, Kev. Throwing these at you. Darnold or Burrow?
Let's go. Sam Darnold.
Tom, Darnold or Burrow?
Darnold.
Okay.
Fuck
Schultz
Howie
or Knox?
Roseman.
Schultz or Knox, Kev?
Knox.
Give your Woods.
Oh, this one's close.
That is closer.
I'm gonna go Gibson.
Yeah, same. Upside.
And then would you trade, got offered Allen and DK for Diggs and Burrow? What side do you want?
But then you're not gonna be able to play Darnold anymore.
You're gonna give me Croup. Croup doggy dog.
Because I mean, obviously you're getting an upgrade with Josh Allen. You're getting a downgrade with going from DK to Diggs. I think at least on a weekly basis of consistency, I think you are. I mean, obviously DK has high ceiling in him as well, but the Burrow part I don't really care about. And so it's like I view it more of like Josh Allen and DK for Diggs. And so I think I would do it.
Same.
Yeah, give me the Allen side. Brian Barnes, new here. Welcome, Brian. Glad to have you. Please hit that subscribe button if you have not yet done so. Do we think Justin Jefferson is a sell high or not?
So for me, I think it. I mean, it's not really a sell high. I mean, he's what a top 8 to 10 wide receiver, coming into this year that people were where you were drafting him at. So you're not really selling high, and so I would be more of a question of like, what are you trying to get? We shouldn't be just trying to trade players, but let's say you're really hurting at running back and you're really, really deep at wide receiver, then that's fine. Go deal from a position of strength to improve. But if you're also kind of thin at wide receiver and thin at running back, you trading another wide receiver is just gonna create another hole somewhere else. So it really just needs to know what the rest of your roster looks like, and do you even need to trade him?
And if you can get a guy like DJ Moore for him, who right now is outplaying him in redraft, and another running back upgrade, sure, do that.
Andrew wants to know Visca, Galladay, or Sanders. I'm going Sanders here.
This one is close because I love LaVisca and Manny Sanders, but I think I'm going to go Emmanuel Sanders.
Boom.
Yeah, it's juicy, that matchup.
Juicy fruit. Jay joining us from the Fantasy Gurus podcast. What's up, Jay? Got Mixon out this week in a wide receiver heavy team. Am I starting Melvin Gordon or Latavius Murray? This is Lat Murray. This is Latavius.
Yep.
They're both going to be splitting time. I can't start Melvin Gordon against.
Yeah,
against
I guess. Yeah. Go Latavius.
LA Rick wants to know Damian Harris or Renfro in the flex.
How do you not start that stud muffin of Hunter Renfro with that body? Like the dad bod has to get extra points to go out there.
I don't know who it was on Twitter, but someone threw up a post with their numbers. I think it was like Renfro and DK Metcalf, and just the absolute difference between those human beings is just the funniest thing.
The 4.75.
Hunter Renfro looks like me actually standing out there in my younger years, of course, but next to just a monster of a man that is DK Metcalf.
It's great.
So who are we going, Harris or Renfro?
I'm going Damian Harris.
Yeah, probably.
So no tight end help coming for Uzi. Blew all the fab on Damian Williams. So I think we're going Conklin there.
I just want to say that while we're there, just really quickly, if Khalil Herbert is available in your league, you should add him. You should add him now, because I think there is a real possibility that Khalil Herbert is the guy who plays the David Montgomery role, and Damian Williams' role doesn't change at all. He might get a little bit more bump, I think, maybe up front, because if he was at like 38% opportunity, so I could see him bump up to like 45% or something like that. But I think there's a real chance that Khalil Herbert ends up being the guy who gets more opportunity, or at the very least, a split backfield. Because Khalil Herbert's definitely getting opportunities in this backfield.
At least for 2 weeks. Is Cohen coming back after week 6?
Well, it still doesn't matter. I mean, it would just be he would just be the pass catcher anyway. But yeah, it would just be.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about Cohen though.
Neither have I. He's
dead. It was
week
7.
Yeah, and then I think they also
after
traded
week
for
6.
Jakeem Grant today, but I guess that's supposed to be more of a.
So Cody, after week 6 comes week 7.
That's not how it works. Sober money. I've never had any of that because drunk Cody spends all of it. Think of trading Clyde and Woods for Swift. The other option would be Chase and Clyde for Swift.
Don't do Chase and Clyde. I'm okay with Clyde and Woods if you have the depth. I always want the best player in the deal. It's a little bit of an overpay, but I'm okay with that if you love Swift.
Kev, where are you sitting on that one?
I think you're still overpaying a little bit for the two, or for Swift, because Swift is going to be frustrating. There's going to be weeks where he's just not involved because Mr. Kneecaps. But
pop.
I don't hate it either. because I think CH is going to be hard to trust too on certain weeks. I would probably not do it. I'm damn sure not including Jamar Chase into it.
No.
Definitely not that.
So
Yeah,
if you wanted to make the move, if you're high on Swift, I would ask them to throw in something else. And you may end up just waiting because I think Woods has a good game this weekend on tomorrow night. The matchup is fantastic for him tomorrow. And, we had the narrative of Sean McVay saying they were going to get him more involved for Robert Woods. So I would rather him wait and see what he does after tomorrow. And if he goes off, then you're going to be able to get more from the Swift owner.
Ramon coming through with that $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Carson, Debo, and Chase for Aaron Jones and Pollard. Is that too much? How do you guys feel with this first trade?
Yeah, it's too much. Because we don't know what Pollard's going to do, even though Kev loves him. But with Debo and Chase, they're just...
And Carson.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know. I'm not even including Carson.
I think you need more into that trade if you're gonna make it. Right? I mean, obviously, if Aaron Jones, you're getting a top 5 running back, and those are hard to acquire. And so but you're giving up too much with Carson, Debo, and Chase. For Pollard is for him to truly be a guy that you feel comfortable playing on a week-to-week basis. I think we need Ezekiel Elliott to go down with an injury. Right? That's where he completely gets unlocked, and now you have another top 5 running back. Without it, he's more of just a flex option on a week-to-week basis, depending on matchup, right? And so you're giving up too much. I would ask for a little bit. I would want something else thrown into that trade.
So I think he's saying that he would have Zeke and Pollard and Aaron Jones and Dylan.
Yeah, but we don't want that. You don't want the flex of your own guys. You're betting against yourself.
Yeah, I would. I don't like we were saying. I don't mind making the move for Aaron Jones, but you should definitely be able to get something back. Because it's not like outside of that, Aaron Jones explosion game, he's been fine. He hasn't been putting up those, even close to those numbers on a week to week basis. Debo and Chase have been going off. Carson is whatever. I don't mind getting rid of him. But you should definitely be able to get something else back in return. This is the kind of trade I would expect following his 4 touchdown game that he had recently. I'm going to keep this one up here to show the support for Ramon coming through with that $9.99 holla. This one is going to Kev, Mike Williams or Deontay Johnson in a PPR for Chippy D, for Chip Doug.
That was really close because I have both of them. But I'm as top 12 options this week. But I have Deontay at 9 and Mike Williams at 11. So I would go Deontay. Can we get both of them in? Is that a possibility at all?
Yeah, Chip, let us know if there's anyone else we could potentially sit to slide in both of those wide receivers, because I do like both those guys this week, even though I am lower on Deontay than Kevin Robby. Jay wants to know, start RB2, Chuba, Sermon, Gainwell, or Connor, and then says, my RBs are bad.
I think you go Sermon.
Yeah. Alejandro wants to know, Tom, I'm going to throw this one to you. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, or Kenny Golladay. I think we just need one. So obviously between Lamb and Evans, who are you going?
Probably Lamb against the Giants.
I'm going to throw this one back to you again, Tom, because I know both of these tight ends are your guys. Do you like Goddard or Gesicki this week? I like Gesicki this week. I'm not a tournament player for DFS. So for all the cash lineups I keep going to Mike Gesicki. And it's at the point now where it's making me feel a little nauseous down in my tum-tum, because I feel like I'm putting way too much on Gesicki, but the usage has been there for him. But who do you like here between Dallas Goedert or Mike Gesicki?
I think, and I hate myself, I'm going to wind up going Mike Gesicki here just because, like you said, The usage, you don't know what you're going to get with Ertz and Goddard as far as the target share, and Mike Gesicki is more likely to get in the end zone.
What about Pitts or Gesicki?
Pitts. I'll go Pitts. Especially against the Jets.
Appreciate the super chat there, Ramon. In the flex for Mr. Wong, Hunt or Zach Moss?
Hunt, no doubt.
Yeah, going Hunt there as well. Yvette wants to know Higbee. A lot of Gesicki questions. Half PPR, Higbee or Gesicki? I'm rolling Gesicki there. I hate how much I don't like how much I'm on him, but the usage is there and the matchup is there. As good as Tampa Bay is on defense, their linebackers and their secondary can be had with tight ends. And Gesicki has been getting consistent usage over the past couple of weeks. So
his routes run in addition to his targets have gone up. Like everybody is basing the hate of Gesicki off of week 1. Week 2 he didn't do great, but the last 2 weeks he did well. But week 2 he still had decent usage. So I'm gonna go with Gesicki.
Uzi, I am with you here. I am not in third in points scored, but in the listener league for TFA, I am 0-4, and I've run into buzzsaws every single week. The first 3 weeks I played either the highest scoring team, the second highest scoring team, and then last week I lost by less than a point trying to get my first win. So Uzi's looking to improve here. Mahomes, CMC, Chubb, Gordon, Ingram, Damian Williams, Scary Terry, D-Hop, Mooney, Slayton, Callaway, Logan Thomas, Johnny Conklin, Steelers D. So you can't.
I almost want to be like, stay the course, bud. You're gonna pick up.
Yeah.
CMC's gonna come back. You're gonna be good. D-Hop's gonna get healthier. You're gonna be fine. Damian Williams should have an uptick in value.
It just sucks to be sitting there at 1-3 and looking at this team. Man, would you think about? My God, I don't want to move any of these top pieces. If you can get it, yes. If you can get the right value back for CMC. Is that a move you would look to make? Like if you can get like a back end RB1 and like a back end wide receiver 1.
No, because he's supposed to be back this week. I mean, like it's not like it'd be different if it was like he was still 2 or 3 weeks away and you don't have time to check or you don't have time to wait, right? At 1-3, like we have the extra week now too, so we should keep that in perspective. And people start to, I get it, freak out when you're 1-3 and things become look a little dire, but. At that point, all you're really chasing at that point is 6, or how many people get in the playoffs. If your league is 6 teams or 4 teams, that's the guy you're chasing. Who cares about first anymore? Like all you're worried about is 6. So a lot of times, if the 6th place team is 2-2 or whatever, like you're in good shape. Like you're still fine. Or even if they're 3-1, at this point, then you're still fine. You're only 2 games back. Like I'm not blowing up this team. This team is going to be good. And so at that point, I think
if you can get someone to overpay and give you like a Swift and like a Cup or a DJ Moore that people may think have overachieved, are you doing something like that?
I don't want to give up CMC. He's such a cheat code whenever he plays. Like, I mean, he has never like. I think since it's like 2018 or 2019 when he's played, he's never finished lower in a given week than RB8. Never in a given week.
He good.
Yes, he's a cheat code. And so, like, we're not giving that up. And especially when CMC's back. Look, at worst, if he's not back this week, he's 100% back next week, right? And so we're not giving that up. And like, don't trade him now. Like, you missed him for a couple of weeks. This team is still really good, right? I look at this team. You get CMC back. You have Chubb. You could drop Mark Ingram. I don't know. You don't need to hold on to Mark Ingram. And so I think you could drop him. You have Damian Williams now as an option for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Terry, D-Hop. D-Hop's been hurt, but better things are coming for him as well. Like, this is still a really good team. You could
Yeah.
probably drop Logan Thomas if you had to at this point. He's going to be out for 4 or 5 weeks. And so and you have Mahomes. I'm not dropping. I don't think you need to do anything. I think you hold steady, and I think you'll be fine.
I do think you can maybe look to move from, like, let's say Mooney goes out and has another, 6 for over 100. Maybe you could look to move him, to get someone else better there for your wide receiver 3. But yeah, I would hate to move any of your key pieces just because if you're third in points scored, most points against, these things have a way of normally working themselves out through the year. So hold steady, but I would drop Mark Ingram and I would drop Logan Thomas as well. I know with only having Johnny and Conklin, but you're not going to, no one's going to be rushing out. You're not dropping, Kelsey and he's on IR for 4 weeks or whatever it is. You can drop Logan and look to pick up some higher upside guys here. Jose wants to know, who should I drop for Julio out of this group? Who do you guys like there?
I think you would drop Zach Moms.
Same.
So I was thinking as well. This is our guy Andrew. Switch up the name for the new channel here, NASCAR Fantasy Live. So if you're a NASCAR fan, head over there and give Andrew a little subby here on the YouTube. Would you accept this?
Anyways, keep going. Love NASCAR DFS. It's my favorite. Well, it's not my favorite, but it's my second favorite, but below NFL DFS. Love NASCAR DFS.
So it's like my 4th favorite if we start adding.
Well, I said it like it's ridiculous to say it's my NFL DFS.
I mean, I really like baseball.
It's definitely king
too,
but the queen is NASCAR. Love NASCAR DFS.
So this is for a non-PPR league. Would you accept the trade of Gibson, AJ Brown, Hunter Renfrow for CMC and A-Rob? Would you send away CMC and A-Rob for Gibby, AJ Brown? I love that Hunter Renfrow is thrown in here.
No.
Okay. People blowing up the chat with some Darnold talk.
Hell yeah. Wait, that was the question I asked.
It was, but we are a half hour behind on the questions. So maybe we can circle back to some of them. Uzi already got that. OQ joining us. Trying to trade Clyde and Tyreek for Derrick Henry. Have Saquon, Hunt, Patterson, AB, Keenan Allen, Shepard, Davis, Renfrow. Would you guys do this trade?
No, I want the Chiefs.
Oh, hell no. I'm not trading CH and Tyreek for Derrick Henry. No.
Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Alejandro, I'm going to come back to this one because I can't remember what we asked from earlier. Jay, wide receivers of DK, Devontae, Jefferson, trying to trade one of them for a Swift or Najee type.
I would try and trade DK if I can. I have Devontae and Jefferson over DK.
Trying to go back and see. We love you guys for blowing up the chat like this, but whenever we get behind like this, it makes it hard to go back whenever we ask you guys to give us a little more context. Whoops. Okay. I see now. Okay. So the poopy running backs trying to trade one of those receivers to upgrade at RB. Who would you be trading out of these 3?
You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go, Kev.
I'm probably gonna move Justin Jefferson. I'm not trading Devontae.
I would marry DK because I'm afraid to do either of the other things to him.
Or he does to you.
Okay, but before this goes
we're gonna
This
is Darnold. Very easy.
Yeah, Darnold here for me.
Same.
You've had Tanny or Darnold. That is Darnold. Rest of the season, Brady or Darnold? Rayla wants to know.
Brady. Don't, Kev. Don't do it. Brady. Stop it.
It's Brady, but
Okay.
I'm telling you, the hate for Sam Darnold is unreal.
Listen, there's no hate right here. Like, he was one of my dynasty buys in the offseason. Like, buy Sam Darnold. Hello.
Yes.
Love it.
Max, let us. Oh, okay, here it is. I was like, I don't know, Max, what to tell you here. Did drop this a couple comments later. Najee, J. Rob, Damian Williams, Thielen, AB, Hollywood, AJ Green, Amari Cooper. Who'd you try to package to trade to get Dalvin Cook?
To get Dalvin out of that group, you're going to have to include Najee. That's like a Najee and Amari deal, but I don't know if I would do that based on the way your roster's built.
Yeah, if this is the rest of your roster, I would not do that because you're just going to create very little depth left to have him.
And then, as good as Dalvin is, we're talking about his health earlier, and if you have to deal with that headache every week, you better have Madison.
Our ma'am Tam needs one here. Clyde, Hunt, or McKissick?
I'm going CH.
Yeah.
It is close. I like Hunt, but
same. I'm a big Hunt guy, so
Lucas,
I have about 2 more questions in me, and it's night time. I have to go take my sweet molasses and whatnot and go night.
ARP club needs to get some rest.
Gotta get up 3 hours before the sun rises to get to that breakfast. Work.
Got to make sure if you don't time that Metamucil just right, you could be in trouble all day long.
I take it at 5:00 p.m., so I'm regular every day.
Lucas, this is a win. Good job here trading some RB2 back end RB2 guys for a wide receiver 1. Tam needs 3 now. Metcalf, Woods, Pittman, Mike Williams, or Cooks.
So Woods, Metcalf, and Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Here we go. And then Tom, we'll get you out on this one because this is what we're here for. Here's the random question of the week from Raylan, always coming through with these. Would you rather be able to see the future or change the past? This is good. This is much better than the beach amusement park question you threw out to us last week.
So if you change something throughout history, you automatically change the future, right? So I feel like it would be selfish to change the future, right?
Yeah, but it could be like a Marvel type thing, like if you mess up anything in your past, it's going to change.
Right, the timeline is going to change. So, like Cody, I would make him be able to grow like a full beard instead of like the Kevin Federline chin strap. I'd figure that out.
But how do you change that?
I don't know. Genetics.
I really wish you would change.
A different mailman came that day. I don't know.
I wish you would change something different for me.
All right, you're taller. I don't know.
Like have a job. I would definitely have a job at this point.
I would definitely change Robby's reception. So he would.
I think I would want to be able to see the future.
Okay, Biff. You got the sports almanac.
Man.
It's a tough one.
Could you imagine how much money you could make if you could see the future? I mean, you could bet all the futures. The Super Bowls, games. I mean, you could just rack up the money.
Right, but like I said, isn't it like self-serving if you see the future as opposed to going back and changing something?
You don't have to hoard it. You could use it for good. Yeah,
has anything in the past been really that bad?
My God. All right, Tom, it's time for you to go to bed.
Yes, it is. Well, I was the one advocating for the past, damn it. Only one here with a bleeding heart, apparently. What would you do, Code? You didn't even say.
I would see the future, but I don't know how often I would use that because that terrifies me.
What?
You never know what you're gonna see. I'm assuming you can't narrow it down to like, hey, did the Buccaneers win 10 games in 2022?
What if you
You
could?
know.
What if you could? What if you could do that?
Well, then I would use it more often. Tom,
So
appreciate
maybe,
you.
yeah. So maybe I'm going with the future there because if you can then see, never mind. I'm gonna get really deep
Okay.
here, and I have to go to bed. Well, it was great jumping on. Thanks for the invite, Kevin, and the insults, and I'm glad I hopped on.
Anytime, old man.
All right, Old Man River, don't break a hip.
All right,
Cody, I'll
buddy,
see you
I
on
will-
Saturday.
Yes, I'll see you on Saturday. Yep.
Yes, sir. Prop talk.
All right, brother.
All right,
Appreciate
later,
you jumping on.
Yep.
All right, another one here from Emmanuel. Need 2 for the flex. 2 Damians, a Sutton, a Sanders, or a Galladay.
Damian Harris.
And Manny for me.
Yeah.
Boom. Tough acting, Tinactin. Alex LeBlanc got offered Justin Jefferson and J-Rob for Carson and Devontae Adams. I'm keeping Jefferson and Robinson.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, Alexis got offered Henderson and Damian Harris for Carson and Jamal Williams. Give me Henderson and Harris on the second one.
Yes.
Sermon or Mitchell rest of the season from Murdoch.
It's gonna be Sermon for me.
I just don't know what to expect from Shanahan. I really don't. I have no idea what to expect. I feel like he likes that home run hitter, which is going to have me lean Mitchell, but I don't have a lot of conviction behind that one. Kev, are you a guns kind of guy? Because I cannot answer these ones. No. That's a free ticket that nobody wants.
Glock.
Okay. Are you actually a gun guy? I don't know this about you. Like, okay. That'll be enough. Oliver needs.
Yeah, you've never shot a 50 cal before?
I think I shot an AR-15 and a BB gun. I've shot those two. I've shot those 2 things. Anyway, Oliver needs 3 here: Godwin, Woods, Davis, Mike Will, T. Higgy. Nice little group here. I am locking in the first 2, and then I lean Mike Williams for the third.
So Mike Williams.
In the first 2?
Yes.
Boom. What are you doing? You doing an overlay, Kev? Buddy, what's going on over there? Brian Barnes is in an 8-team league, full PPR. Allen, Ridley, Jefferson, Kamara, Harris, Waller, Lockett. Benches Mike Davis, T. Higgins, Zach Moss, Marvin Jones with Monty and MT on IR. Man, this was in reference to something earlier. I'm gonna scroll up to find this. I knew it. I knew this is what you were doing.
It's like my OCD. Like I can't not have the the 2-man overlay up.
Okay, so this was the Justin Jefferson sell high. So I think we do see some holes here that we could plug. So I feel like in an 8-team league, you have to have a stronger RB2 there. So I think you could look to upgrade there.
Yeah, I would say probably running back is probably the biggest area of weakness here.
Who would you be targeting if you're trading away Jefferson?
You're probably going to go after somebody like Antonio Gibson, who is probably, especially his value is not as high. Maybe Jonathan Taylor, guys like that.
Standard league for Tam, Hubbard, Gibson, Woods, A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, if he plays, if he does not, go Antonio Gibson.
Silver money back. If we throw Michael Thomas in this deal, does that make you any more likely to do it?
That I don't hate because you pretty much wrote out where he's going to be gone for, because now after this week he has one where they're on bye next week, I believe, and so week 7 is the first week that I believe that he can come back, and so I don't know. Have we gotten? I haven't really seen any reports about him. Where he's at. Is he close to returning to at least to practice? So I don't hate it. You're taking a risk, but if you're stacked at wide receiver already, then I think I would probably make the move and just roll the dice, because Swift I think is an upgrade on a week-to-week basis over CH, and then from there, I don't want to give up Woods, but Michael Thomas, I think if he can come back healthy and ready to go, I think he could be a real weapon.
Yeah, this would make me way more likely to do that trade, silver money. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Please hit us with a sub and a like if you have yet to do so. If you like what we're doing here, help us out a little bit. If you listen to podcasts, if you want to leave a rate and review on our podcast channel as well, that would also be swell if you want to help out that way. Alejandro needs a flex here between Williams and Galladay.
I'm going to go Williams.
Same. I thought we were going to have a disagreement there. Also going Damian. Mark needs a flex and a full PPR. Crowder or Anderson?
I'm going to go with Robby Anderson.
Give me Crowder. I think that was really encouraging to see his usage in his first game back. So I'm gonna lean Crowder on that one. Braden wants opinions here. 12-team full PPR: Brady, Zeke, Henderson, D-Hop, Lamb, Knox, Higgy, Pitt, Prater. On the bench, we have Claypool, Madison, Gronk, Arizona defense, MG3, Carr, AJ Green, and Judy. 12-team. I like it. I think that's a really strong team for a 12-team league.
Yeah, I would drop Arizona. I would drop one of your defenses. So if you want to keep Pittsburgh, fine. Drop Arizona and drop Derek Carr.
Yes. Good stuff, Braden. Gibson, Carson, Clyde, rest of season in order.
Gibson, Clyde, Carson.
I went Clyde, Gibson, and Carson. Mixon or Saquon rest of the season.
Definitely Saquon. If it feels good to see what Saquon has done, it's kind of what I predicted, what I thought was going to happen. The first couple of weeks were going to be a little rough. We needed to make it through it. And, the last 2 weeks, we are starting to see the Saquon of old. Of 2000, since when 2019 before he got hurt. So it's been very encouraging to see Saquon.
Marvin Jones or Amari Cooper this week? I know you're down on Cooper and Lamb, but are you down that far?
I am not. I would still go Amari.
B-dubs, is CPAT a weekly must start? And would
He
you
is
play him over?
absolutely not a weekly must start. It is a very thin start because a guy who's only playing 30%, getting only 30% of the opportunities is not somebody that you want to trust on a weekly basis. So I would not play him over CH.
Very unsustainable in a lot of ways. I definitely think he's in the conversation until we start seeing some of his opportunities go away for sure. I don't know that I would call him a must start, but he's definitely in the flex.
Well, he's a flex option for sure. Yeah, I think he's definitely a flex option, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about his opportunity share, playing I think 36% of the snaps on the season. Like it's just absolutely crazy what he's been able to do so far. Michael Chapp just got Hollywood and Zach Moss for Melvin Gordon and Sutton. I like that. I like that trade. Got a dub there. Abraham wants to know Myers or Waddle at the flex.
This one is Jacoby Myers.
I'm going to go Waddle just because I think he could potentially see more targets in this game. But they're both close. I like both the options, but I lean Waddle. I don't think there's any way he only sees four targets again, especially in this matchup. And you can definitely get to Tampa through the slot. Thunder, who wins this trade? CMC and Myers for Saquon and Henderson. Here we go, Kev.
I still want CMC. This is very much closer because you're adding in Darrell Henderson, who Darrell Henderson I think has the potential to be a high-end RB2 throughout the rest of the year. But I still I want the CMC side because his floor is a lot of people's ceilings.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the more reasonable ones that we have seen involving CMC, but you still want that side. Fabian, apologies for not getting to this a little earlier. Just saw it. Would you trade Mahomes for Derrick Henry? Have Kamara, Eckler, Darnold on the bench, 4-0, thinking ways to secure more dubs.
Yes, definitely. I think you can do that.
Appreciate you coming through twice tonight, Fabian. Really appreciate the support coming from you. Abraham has Goddard starting this week. Thomas on IR. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is, but just understand that it's been frustrating because Zach Ertz continues to steal his opportunities away. I think he did have a pretty solid game last week, or at least in terms for a tight end. Yeah. So, I mean, last week actually was probably the more uses we've seen actually out of him all year. He actually played 72% of the snaps, ran 34 routes, which is by far the most routes he's ran all year. But only 5 targets, 5 for 56, and a tutty. So, I think Goddard, in terms of just tight ends, I think is going to be fine. But it is going to be frustrating because Zach Ertz is going to see opportunity.
Yeah. We need 2 here for Daichi? Dashi?
Mike Williams and CD.
Yes. I agree there. A-Rob, Patrick, or D. Will?
I'm going to go Allen Robinson here.
Yeah. Give me A-Rob. Damian Williams is just like a touch. That is closer than it should be.
Oh, for sure. The only thing that would worry me is because I believe the Bears are playing the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he is going to see Casey Hayward, who Casey Hayward has been excellent. I mean, he's been elite. He's been the number 1 corner in all of football this year so far. But he does not shadow, and I do not think that he is going to shadow. And I think they will probably move Allen Robinson around, so he's not going to see him the entire game. And so I do think that Allen Robinson is going to start to get it going. It's tough. I get it because I am an Allen Robinson owner myself. And it's been crazy because Allen Robinson has had the worst quarterbacks you could ever possibly imagine and has produced. But it's very short sample size. He probably should have had a little bit better numbers. He did have the 35-yard touchdown that hit him in the chest that he dropped. So there's some other factors there. But, yeah, that's what
Yeah, I took Allen Robinson over, I think it was like 1050 on his receiving yards for a season-long prop. And that is not looking good because I was all aboard A-Rob this season as I think a lot of people were, but I absolutely loved it, but that is not looking like that is going to come to fruition. Anyways, Mets 32-14 wants to know if there's any way to improve this team in a 12-team PPR, 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. So Hurts and Burrow at quarterback, Saquon, Carson, Javonte, Lat Murray, Elijah, Khalil Herbert, who you suggested to pick up, Kev, at running back, Diggs, Julio, AB, Myers, Mecole Hardman, Thomas, Fant, and Panthers D.
I don't think you need to improve anything, but I don't know. I would drop the second quarterback unless it's a super flex, which he does not say that it is. So as long as it's not, you don't need these 2 quarterbacks. It's just burning a roster. I mean, I get it. I guess with these 2 guys, it's more of a question of but I still feel like Jalen Hurts. I mean, he has been productive every single. I believe he's put up a QB1 week every single week this season.
Yes.
So with him, I would probably look to either trade Joe Burrow if you wanted to. It's tough though because some of the players you could maybe trade Chris Carson if you wanted, maybe try to upgrade to get to but I don't know if you're going to be able to really trade Chris Carson with the fact that he's probably hurt right now. So that significantly lowers his value. And then, at wide receiver, we're not trading Diggs. So then that leaves you like with maybe Julio, but with Julio banged up, his value is not as high. And so maybe you could pair like AB and Burrow to somebody that whoever maybe doesn't have a quarterback right now or their quarterback's not doing very good. You might be able to pull a move there. But other than that, I mean, I don't think you necessarily absolutely need to.
Yeah, I would try trading one of those quarterbacks for sure, just to pick up, maybe another wide receiver piece. I think that's where you could probably use the most help. Maybe try and shore up some of that there, especially until Thomas comes back. Joe wants to know if Mixon and or McCaffrey plays, do I trust either over Damian Williams? I say yes.
Especially McCaffrey. They're not going to rush McCaffrey back. And so there's no reason to. They're 3-1. And so there's no reason whatsoever to rush McCaffrey back. And so if he's good to go, he is going to get his full complement. So
Ashton needs 2 in a full PPR. Ayuk, Juju, Shenault, Sermon, Edwards, Gainwell, or Osborne.
I'm going to go Sermon and Shenault.
I'm going to go Juju and Shenault. And if Juju doesn't play, probably Sermon for me as well there. Jay has Hurtsy Curtsy, Carson, Mixon, Devontae, DK, Waller, Jefferson with Moody and Shepard on the bench. Maybe you can package Waller to get some of the same value to RB, or do I stay the same for now in a 10-team PPR?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can make it happen, yeah, go for it. But it depends on what you're getting. And I mean, Darren Waller hasn't been actually crushing it, so I don't know how high. I mean, it's still Darren Waller. People are going to want to, looking for a tight end, but I try to prefer to trade a guy like when they're coming off a big week because if you don't, you're probably not going to be able to get as much for them for them.
Right. Trade question here from Caleb. Should I trade Najee and Kyler for CMC and Hurts?
Yes.
Yep. Doing that as well. That is a good trade. Rockout has another offer here for us. Lamb, Gibson, McKissick, and Rockout would get CMC, Woods, Gesicki in a standard league.
Why, especially in a standard? I mean, McKissick really doesn't really even matter in a standard league, right? Because he's useless for the most part in a standard league. So I wouldn't even be worried about that. So yeah, I mean, I would if you're if you're getting CMC, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Kellis, 8-man PPR start 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs. That's how you do an 8-man. Make those starting requirements a little deeper. Would you trade Mixon, AB for Evans, J-Rob, and Julio? Wide receivers: Chase, Woods, Marquise, Jones, Chenault, Waddle. Running backs: Henry, Aaron Jones, Carson, Javonte.
Yeah, I think I would.
Henry,
You get Evans, J-Rob, and Julio, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe this is a super flex. Traded Swift, Odell for Ridley and Robby. Okay, so this is a different one. Ryan, Danny Dimes, Heineke, Goff at quarterback, Saquon, Zeke, Mixon, Lat Murray, Tyreek McLaurin, Ridley, Thomas, Robbie Hartman, Gronk, Cook. Swift and Odell for Ridley and Robby.
Excuse me.
Saquon, Zeke, and Mixon there at running back, so can afford to give away Swift. Tyreek, McLaurin, Ridley, so you can afford to give away Odell.
You got a good value at wide receiver, yeah.
I like it. Alejandro Burgos, Standard League, running back, wide receiver, and a flex. Let's start with the running back, Sanders, Latavius. My God.
So if A.J. Brown plays, I'm going A.J. Brown. If he does not,
Devonta for me.
I'm going to go Marvin Jones.
Who do we like at running back? Sanders or Latavius? And a non-PPR. Well, I guess non-PPR doesn't matter for Miles because they haven't been using him as a
I would probably go
anyway.
Latavius just based off matchup.
My God.
That Carolina front is very, very good. And so which I'm sure Miles Sanders will rip off an 80-yard touchdown this week just to stick a stake right in my heart. But I would go Latavius.
And who do you like for the flex? Obviously, or you're not going. Would you go Devonta there since you're starting Marvin Jones?
I would probably go Allen Robinson.
Got it. Gator, always rocking in the Discord. You can click the link in the video description below if you would like to join Gator in the Discord. Fields or Zach Wilson as the QB2 in the super flex spot?
I'm going Fields.
I would go Fields as well. Michael Kata, Pollard, McKissick, Tim Patrick for the flex.
I'm going Michael Carter.
Let's go. Rico, you can safely drop Tyson Williams. I feel like we're going to be playing.
He didn't even do anything wrong. That's just crazy part, right? I mean, I guess he did mix that block that cost him, that game against the Raiders. But
yeah, that was week 1.
He looked pretty good.
That was week 1, and then it was week 3 that he was the inactive, which is odd. But yeah, I think you can because I think especially because with the way that things have been going for him, no one's going to rush out to pick him up. So I think you can safely drop him. Collins, Slayton available on waivers. Let's see. Okay. So Alex Collins, Slayton, Carter, Pollard, McKissick. So basically, Michael Carter, Alex Collins, or Slayton. Got Michael Carter going up against. Okay. Just feel safer about the workload.
It's possible with this neck injury that I guess he's been dealing with it for a long time, and maybe they choose for him to get it fixed or sit out. This could be a long-term thing.
Half PPR for Joe, Mike Williams, Jamar Chase, AB.
Sit Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Alejandro wants to know how long we've been playing fantasy.
I've been playing. If people have been in here that have been playing for a long time, I've been playing back since it was Sporting News, and they used to have these draft contests where you would pick a team. Now you could swap guys in and out whenever you wanted every week. It was kind of like a salary cap league, and players' value would go up in price, right? So you would actually gain more money over. I think you start with $50K over time. So let's say you picked up, I don't know, just for now like James Robinson last year, right? And all of a sudden, you might have got him for $600 or whatever. I can't remember. Anyways, that was back in 03, 04. So almost 20 years, I guess.
I'm sitting at, I think it was around 10. I can't remember the exact year, but it was definitely after I graduated from Penn State, which was 2010. So it was probably around a decade, 10, 8 years, something like that. Alejandro, what about you? How long have you been playing? Let us know. Kyle wants to know we trade Hollywood for Lockett in a PPR. This is close.
Yeah, I would probably prefer Lockett just because I feel like that it's going to be interesting how things change once Rashad Bateman returns, which very well could be this week. Since he's been activated, it's going to be next week at the earliest because they have to activate him within 2 weeks. So, and he returned to practice last week. So,
yeah, this is closer than it would have been at the beginning of the year, but I do lean Lockett as well. Lamb or Ridley rest of the season for you, Kev?
Ridley.
Alejandro has Dox and Knox traded away Goddard for Devonta Smith. Good job. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. AB wants to know Woods, Myers, Beasley, or Anderson.
Yeah, it'd be Woods. I already talked about it with this matchup. Whether it's Trey Flowers, who was benched last week, or Sidney Jones, who is just as terrible, who, like I said, he's allowed 193 receiving yards on 8 receptions. So with a 156 passer rating allowed. So yeah, I'm about that live.
Gator, we got you. We will grab it after we hop off here. Lance or Tanny?
This is tough, but I'm going to go Lance. That rushing upside that he has is unreal.
Yeah. Latavius Murray, Julio Jones, Robert Woods, Javonte Williams in the flex. Bobby Trees.
If Julio plays, I would go Julio. But if he does not, then yes.
Mahomes for Herbert and Hopkins. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Herbert and Hopkins side. For sure. May trade Carson for Evans, Mike Williams, or Lockett instead of the deal I said earlier involving me trading Mixon. What do you think in a PPR? If you can trade Carson, especially with the news that we're getting right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you prefer out of that group?
Mike Evans.
I would probably have it how you have it listed out there, Kyle.
Yeah.
I have not seen anything other than him being not practicing today with the neck injury. While Lito was dropping something in the chat earlier that it may be something long term. That's really all I know at this point. So I don't have anything further to really add there, Rick. But anytime you start talking about neck injuries, that's never good, especially for a physical runner like Chris Carson as well. Latavius Murray or Marvin Jones at the flex is going to be Marvin Jones for me. CK. Jay is trying to trade Devontae and Carson for McCaffrey and Jacoby.
Yes.
McCaffrey, yes.
Yeah.
Would you drop Tyson for Bateman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Joe's first team stacked Peyton and Marvin Harrison. That's a nice start to your fantasy career.
Bro, Priest Holmes was the GOAT, whatever, back in 03. And I think it was 02, 03, whenever he just went absolutely nuclear. I think one of the fun things I enjoy doing is going back in time and looking at players. Like, oh, I forgot about that guy. Oh yeah, that guy was fun.
Yeah, I was just thinking back to, not a guy that you're going to forget, especially anytime soon. But my first fantasy championship was anchored by Jamal Charles and Matt Forte. The year that they just Matt Forte had like 100 catches, Jamal went crazy. I think I had Brandon Marshall on that team as well. I think he was my receiver, maybe like Evans, maybe potentially.
Question for the chat. Speaking of that, who is everybody's favorite fantasy football player of all time? Like, since you've been playing, like, who's your favorite? For me, it will probably always be Calvin Johnson.
Man, my favorite. I love Brandon Marshall.
I just absolutely loved. I mean, Megatron was such a cheat code. I mean, he was an absolute monster. And in my home keeper league, I had him since I had him his entire career. I got lucky. I sold him literally the year he retired. Like right towards the end of when the trading deadline was, and he retired right there. So I didn't lose him. So I didn't end up losing that pick and ended up working out. But yeah, I mean, Megatron was such a fun player. I mean, there's so many guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, back here and then. Jamal Charles was excellent. I mean,
just had him dropped in the chat.
Yeah, CJ2K, he was fun.
Yeah.
There's so many more. Like it's so much. Like I said, I always enjoy kind of just going back and looking at because with Pro Football Focus, you can actually go through their database. I think it's all the way back to 2003, 4 or something like that. But you can go back pretty far in their database and just going back and looking at some of those guys. Oh yeah, I forgot about those dudes.
Rico, thoughts on Bateman's return? I think it's going to be slow at the beginning. Obviously, even though Baltimore is throwing more than what they have, they're still not throwing it at a crazy pace or anything. And we also have to remember that Lamar missed some time in the offseason because of the COVID, and that Bateman was banged up too. So I think it could take a little bit, but obviously a super talented dude. We like him long term. Definitely worth a stash if you have the space to do it. But I would not be throwing him in my starting lineup unless I absolutely had to for the first couple of weeks until we can see, how he's trending up and that sort of thing. Because, rookie missing time on an offense that's not going to be throwing the ball a ton. I would temper expectations at for the first couple of weeks. Picked up Alex Collins, seeing him making an impact with Carson. Okay, so herniated disc. While Lito is also saying a chronic long-term neck injury.
Yeah. I think Alex Collins definitely, and he could be. I mean, and Chris Carson's a player that's never been able to stay healthy either. Like he seems like he gets hurt every year, and so yeah, I think Alex Collins because right now, I mean, Rashad Penny's on IR too, so I mean, they don't really have anybody else to take that spot, and so yeah, I think he's definitely viable.
Does CPAC continue to go off? Not at the rate that he has been, Anthony. We've been talking about this. It has been a theme here on the show. He's really not getting that many opportunities. His opportunity share is below 40%. His snap share is below 40%. What he's doing right now is unsustainable, but he is definitely in the flex consideration until further notice. Jay Bowling, should I start Metcalf in a full PPR? Ramsey on him, foot injury, has JB skeptical. Let us know what your other options are. But I think today Metcalf did not have an injury designation, if I am remembering correctly. So, it should be a little bit more of a higher scoring game. Again, Alex Collins going up against. I know this Rams run D isn't what it has been in years past, but we're still talking about Alex Collins going up against Aaron Donald on an offensive line that for whatever reason has not put the pieces behind or in front of Russ Wilson as they should have. So let us know what else you would be potentially sitting Metcalf over, but I can't imagine you have much better pieces.
Yeah.
So this was the Mahomes deal. So looks like Mahomes and Judy for what was it, Herbert and Hopkins. I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
Pick 2, Carter McKissick, Slayton, Alex Collins.
I would go Carter and Collins.
Yep. Appreciate you guys chiming in on the favorite talk here.
So this is we don't have any other. Okay, we have one more, right? Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to bounce back. He's too good not to. I know it's frustrating with him, and he's definitely a much better player than this, but they're going to get him going. They have to get him going. He's going to get more opportunities than what he's been seeing. And, I think once Fields becomes more of a, consistent starter, hopefully they continue to let Bill Lazor continue to call plays too, because he does a much better job. You just saw a complete shift in how that offense was ran with that. So,
would you go Hurts over Russ? I have Hurts above Russ, so I would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Do you have something you were going to throw in there, Kev? I like this overlay. Good job, buddy. Okay, so for JB, this is a DK question. Boyd, Lamb, Myers, Van Jeff.
What was the question?
About DK Metcalf.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still probably going to start DK Metcalf. Yeah. But anyways, so actually it's 2011 as far back as PFF went, and I pulled it up just to close out the show. Everyone throwing in their guys from 2011. Who do you think was the number one non-quarterback from 2011?
2011?
Yeah.
Man, my brain does not work like that. Was it like Gronk?
It was not. It was Ray Rice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Ray Rice. Let me see.
McCoy.
It was Ray Rice. Calvin Johnson was 2. Wes Welker was 3. Gronk was 4. Shady was 5. Arian Foster got that. He was great too.
Yes, that is a great one. He was one of my favorites for sure.
And then Maurice Jones-Drew, Jimmy Graham, prime Jimmy Graham, Victor Cruz, the salsa man. Jordy Nelson, Roddy White, Darren Sproles, Larry Fitzgerald, Percy Harvin was 14th. Steve Smith was 15th. Marshawn Lynch, Mike Wallace, Marquez Colston, Ryan Matthews, Brandon Marshall was 20th. Hakeem Nicks. Oh, Michael Turner. Michael Turner. Love that guy too.
Prime AJ Green. Yes.
Dwayne Bowe. Oh, just a monster. He used to piss me off so much. Steven Jackson. So Stevie Johnson. Forgot about that.
Oh yeah. The Why So Serious on the shirt whenever he scored the touchdown, lifted up his jersey and had Why So Serious written on it.
Yeah, and then Aaron Hernandez was still around then. So
he used to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got guys even like Mike Tolbert was 40th overall in fantasy points. That's crazy. I don't even. And then
Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, Des Bryant, Fred Jackson,
D'Angelo,
Greg Jennings, Jonathan Stewart, Reggie Wayne, Jabbar Gaffney. Ahmad Bradshaw. Sean Green. Oh, man. See, I love this.
Out of Iowa.
Beanie-
Brian, we do not have a Patreon or anything like that. Basically the way that you can help us out is subscribing across everything that we have. So YouTube, podcast platforms. If you listen to podcasts, even if you don't, go leave us a rate and review over there, specifically on Apple. That helps us out a lot. And then, hey, you can always join the Discord. That is absolutely free. And you can always do a super chat through YouTube as well. We might potentially think about it's something we've been kicking the tires on for a couple of years now. Haven't done it. We might do. Well, we're going to do a draft guide this year, so that could be a way you could support us coming out. Or, I mean, not this year, but for 2022. So we're definitely going to have a couple of things, and then we need to get back to having T-shirts and some merch again. So whenever we do that, we'll make sure we make an announcement, and you guys can always rep some merch for us, which will help support us in a couple of ways. Alejandro wants to know, do we think Knox is taking over the Beasley role and will also still get the red zone targets?
He's definitely going to get the red zone targets. I think he's definitely viable there. I think he's taken over the Beasley role? No. But I definitely think that he's somebody that, with this offense, as much as they throw the ball, I just think that they're going to he's going to be viable. I think he's going to be at least a low end tight end 1, high end tight end 2 most weeks.
Gator, no real concerns with him. Just kind of sucks the way that things have started out. I don't think there's any way that Cooper Kupp continues to see the targets he's seeing with Woods seeing the targets that he's seeing. I think Woods will tick back up. I think we've seen it long enough with Woods in this system. And then, Ridley's going to get his. All of the numbers you want to see are there for him, just hasn't been clicking. And A-Rob, we've already touched on him as well. He'll get there too. Just kind of that is probably one of the worst groups to have as far as wide receivers go, and you just happen to have all of them, so it probably hurts a little bit more, but I think you'll be okay. Eddie Lacy, yep, loved Eddie Lacy. Alejandro has been playing for 3 years. No Sean Moreno. Landon, what 2 RB should I start in a 2-point PPR? J-Rob, Chubb, Swift.
Oh, man.
Going J-Rob and Swift here.
Yeah, it makes them way more valuable, yeah.
Another one for Jamal. Andres, should I trade Adam Thielen and Jacobs for Melvin and Ridley?
I would not.
Yeah. You're not getting enough back there with Melvin. Not really all that interested in. I do like Ridley as a buy low for sure. Maybe see if there's something they can bump up on from Melvin there to get you something a little bit back. Jay, yeah, we might do something like this again. We've done this before where it was a free for all. We just throw the link into the chat, and whoever wants to join can join. So we'll make sure that we'll make an announcement if we go to do one of those. That was a lot of fun whenever we did that last year.
Yeah, I think we should try to do those again. They were a lot of fun. We did them. Essentially, we just dropped the link in the chat, and then anybody who wants to join the show can join the show. We were really nervous about getting D picks, or not D picks, but just Ds. Just saw somebody hopping in, just a D all of a sudden, because you're just throwing it out there to the world. Anybody can join, and you can join the show. We can chit chat and have a good time. And we had 5 or 6 people, but there was no Ds, thankfully, that day. And so it is a lot of fun. So we'll have to do some of those, just some free for alls where we just come on, chit chat, talk about fantasy, football, life, whatever, and just anybody can join the show, and we can trash Walito the whole time.
Sounds grand. Last one here, then we will wrap up and get out on this one. Pittman or Beasley? This is Beasley for me. I mean Pittman. Sorry.
I was going to say, Pittman for me.
Yeah, Pittman. And then Brian wants to know Knox or Pitts for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think it's still Pitts. I mean, all the numbers are there. The routes run data. I mean, he's top 5 in routes run, which is the thing that I look for the most in tight ends. Though I will say Knox isn't that far off. I think he's 8th or 9th. And so in routes run, and so he's not that far off. But I think that I still would prefer Pitts. I think eventually he probably gets to I think they figure this out and they get him more involved.
Yeah, I agree. It is. Oh yes, great call. DT was yeah.
I will
call.
never forget Zach Stacy though. Forever and always, I will always remember Zach Stacy. He actually liked one of my tweets, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was something similar about who's one guy who won you a fantasy league that you'll never forget, and mine was Zach Stacy, the man will always, and he liked my tweet, and so I was like, oh hell yeah, Zach Stacy. But it was fantastic because I mean he won people championships that year. Terrible the next year, he was a lot like the CJ Spillers, right? The year that all of a sudden he went he was supposed to be a top 5 pick. He was the guy everyone was drafted in the top 5. It completely busted.
Thomas Rawls.
Oh God, Thomas Rawls was fantastic. Yeah, he was another guy everybody was hyping up that did not live up to
Gary Barnage.
Yeah, Gary Barnage. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Rams D, Bears D.
Bears.
We're getting some D's now. Raiders or Titans?
No, I'm going Raiders.
Boom. There you have it, guys. We appreciate all you. Appreciate you guys jumping in and mixing it up with us and responding to all of our questions. This is what we really look forward to all year long. So DFS show, if you guys are playing DraftKings, Kevin and Maddie will be live tomorrow. Tom and I will be live on Saturday night for the prop show, and then we will be back with you guys on Sunday morning. I will not be here. I will be manning the Discord. Kevin and Robby will be here on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, getting you guys ready for your start sets if you have any left, all the way up until lock, about 12:30 on Sunday. So join the Discord, give us a like, hit us with a sub, and rate and review on podcasts if you have already done all the above things as well. So keep it locked in here. We'll see you on the next one.